Hey guys, how are you? How are you? How are you? I am super excited to be with you today as we really begin to talk about and unwrap how to get grant funding. Probably one of the most common questions that I get all the time is, Jen, how do I get grants? Um, I have an idea, I have a business, there's something that I'm really passionate about, I want to do, and I want to get grants. I want to start a church, I want uh, to start a program, I want to give back, I want to really serve in my community. But what I want to know is, how do I get grants, or where do I find grants, and how do I get the yes? I know that for many people who have been successful in getting the Walmart grants or some of the other smaller grants that are honestly just not enough to pay for program services, not enough to pay for long-term support. And so that's what we want to talk about today. My name is Jennifer Yarbrough. I am a nonprofit expert and a grant writer for over 35 years. This is all that I've done my entire career, is help organizations not only identify what it is that they want to do in giving back to their community, but how to get the funding and the resources for it as well. So if you guys would like to invite people to come and be a part of this conversation, and I'll be opening it up for questions as well, please feel free. The first thing that I want us to really think about is, what is a grant? What is a grant? We know that a grant, we assume that grant is free money, right? We need the money, Jen, so that we can start. We don't have the savings, we don't have the access to the resources that we need, right? We need thousands of dollars. I don't need just $500. I don't need $1,000. I need money to be able to, get the equipment, to get the materials and the supplies, and even to hire, whoever I need to hire to be a part of this, be a part of this work. So, what is a grant? A grant is funds that are given by either the state, an agency, or the government to help you do the work. Okay. And is a grant paid back? Generally, no, it's not paid back, which is why most people want the grant, right? So, then how do you present your proposal or your idea for the funder to give you money? Now, one of the things that most people don't realize is that the funder is not funding. The funder is not funding your idea. All right, they're not funding your idea. They're funding your impact. Okay, they're funding not just what you're going to do, but the result of what we're going to do. Now, I can tell you that many of the organizations that I speak to, they're very passionate about what they're going to do, but they haven't quite thought about what is going to be the result. Like, what is it going to look like? That's what the funder is looking for. What is it going to look like? They are funding, they are giving you the money because they believe that what it's going to look like is something that they want to support, right? So, how do you get the funder to make the decision to give your organization the money? You tell them what their funds are going to equip, prepare, position you to create an outcome, right? That's what the look like is, the outcome for this particular audience. You also want to know that the funder has an area of interest for themselves. So, if your organization is funding homelessness, if your organization is funding veterans, if your organization is funding after school programs, if your organization is funding job creation, then you are looking for those funders, those organizations, those foundations, those businesses or agencies that are looking to fund that. Okay. So it's not just, Jen, I have an idea. I need to send this to a foundation. That foundation that you're sending that proposal to is already interested. I want you guys to hear me. They're already interested. They're interested in helping in the area of homelessness, if that's your area program. That's what they serve. That's who they support. They support those programs in those areas of interest. So you want to be able to match what you do with what the funder is interested in supporting. Once you know what it is that they are interested in supporting, then you go through what is the application process. The proposal is the application. All right. So when people say to me, Jen, do you write grants? Grants is the money. The proposal is what is presented to the funder, and they make the consideration based upon that proposal to give you the grant. Do you write grants? I write proposals for grants. The grant is the money, all right? And I just want to make sure that we're using the right terminology, because I know that for many people who come to me and they're like, Jen, I don't know what I don't know. And I'm asking questions, but I'm not really sure if I'm asking the right questions. And so I just want to be able to break it down so that you're clear that if you're looking to hire someone or if you're looking to go through this process, that you're using the right terms. All right. So, do you write grants? The grant is the money, the proposal is what is presented to the funder, and they make the determination based upon the proposal who they're going to give the grant to. The grant is the money. Okay. Now, what goes in the proposal is really key, because when the funder receives the proposal, what is it that they are looking for? What is it that they are considering? What is it that they are taking into account when they make the determination on who's going to get the grant? Okay, so they get the proposal, and I want you to know that they're going to get hundreds of proposals, right? They're going to get hundreds of proposals. And so they've got to go through all of these proposals. And what makes your proposal stand out is that you are clear about what your proposal is going to do, not the activities of what you're going to do, but the impact of what you're going to do. Now, when I say impact, I mean that you are serving homeless. The people who are homeless now, you are providing food, you're providing meals, you're providing resources, you're helping them to with housing security, you're helping them with emotional and mental health services. All right. So the outcome of that, or after your program has finished, after they've gone through all of your program, you're able to say to the funder, with your funds, we will serve 100 people, 1,000 people, and based upon that, whatever that number is, they will be in a position to either be in their own house, either to have their own job, or to be able to, or be, you'll be able to show them that they are getting the resources necessary to keep them from being homeless again. Okay. They're not giving you the money for these people to stay homeless, and they're going to just keep giving you the money, but their situation doesn't change, right? They're looking to fund the impact. Impact says we are giving them the resources that are going to help them find a job, that are going to help them get a house, that are going to help them get the resources that they need for their emotional support. That's the impact, okay? Not the activity, not the activity, okay? Am I making sense? So let's say if you are working with young girls, or let's say if you're working for job creation, and so you're doing life skills trainings. Let's say you are doing leadership skill training. Let's say you're doing, you're doing on hands job performance trainings to give them the skills that they need. Okay, those are the activities. At the end of the grant, when the grant has been spent, you're going to be able to say these many people, 100 people or 1,000 people or whatever that number is, they've gone through our program, and this many people will have a job. Now, no one expects it to be 100%. Nobody expects it to be 100%. Why? People change, people move, circumstances and situation happen. So the funder is not expecting that you're going to have 100%, but your goal should be that we're going to serve, let's say 100. We're going to serve 100 people, and of that 100 people, we can show you that with your money, 85 of them are going to have completed the program. And upon completion of the program, they're going to be able to have a job. They're going to be able to have some money saved. They're going to be able to, be able to support themselves or be on the path to supporting themselves. Okay. That's what the grant is for. The grant is saying that we want to make sure that you have the money to do the activities that are going to produce a realistic and a measurable outcome result. So, what is the key then to getting the grant? Understanding what your program outcome is. You know what the people look like when they come into your program, and then you know what the people will look like when they leave your program. The grant is saying we will support you delivering the activities because we believe in the outcome. We believe in the result. We believe that once your program is finished, that the resources that we have contributed to you will have a meaningful result or outcome. All right. So while the money is free, the expectation that is attached to those funds is that they are paying for outcome. Now, I know we all would love to believe that there is a money tree and that we can go to this money tree and everyone's going to give us free money, right? And there's no expectation, there is no clarity. But you also have to know that these funds that are being given because the funder, the foundation, the agency, the organization, they have a goal as well. You have a goal, they have a goal. They are investing in your program so that you can achieve the goal that they believe in and that they want to see. All right, that they want to see. So, one of the things about getting the grant is being clear about what it is that will be the result of your program. Now, I know that many people have a great idea, but we haven't put a thought to it. We haven't put thought around how long is this program needs to be. What is going to be required or what is going to be essential for us to deliver the program, not the activities. And let's talk about what is a program. Let's talk about what is a program. And what is it that the funder considers the program to be? Now, we might consider our program our activity, right? Our program is we feed, um, we provide socks, or we provide sleeping bags or coats, right? That's our program. But from a funder's perspective, a program is a group or a set of activities that are strategically designed to bring about a result. Again, they are funding a result, they are funding an outcome, they are funding an impact. Okay. So they are taking your idea of a program, and they're saying, based upon these strategic activities, these activities combined, be it feeding, be it clothing, be it job creation, be it job management, life skills trainings, all of money management, all of these are strategic activities that are designed to equip, to prepare, to position the individuals who are coming through your program for a result, that they're going to have a job, that they're going to be able to have hope, they're going to be able to save money for a home and maintain that home, right? So everything that you do from the funder's perspective is that it's going to produce a result. And your program are those activities that are strategically and intentionally designed for a result. Now, for people who say, Jen, I want to do a life skills training, or Jen, I want to do a mentoring program, or Jen, I want to help girls, or I want to help young people, or whatever your program idea is, the funder wants to know, after these funds are spent, what's going to be the result. All right. Based on what they're learning, based on what they're gaining from the activities that they're paying for, what then will these individuals be equipped to do, positioned to do, right? Your program is meeting a need. Your program is meeting a need. Our organizations, community based organizations for the most part, are in place to meet a need. So your program now, according to the proposal, says we know what the need is, and our program, once completed, will have solved or addressed or helped the individuals in the program to overcome what placed them in that position of need. Okay. So you know what the problem is. If a person needs mentoring, then their problem is behavior. Possibly it is leadership. Possibly it is a positive influence. So they've gone through your mentoring program. They've gone through your life skills program. They've gone through your program around leadership and affirmation. Now, after they've completed this program, what then are they able to do? Right? They're able to be leaders, or their behavior has changed and improved, their grades may have improved. That's the outcome. Okay, that's the result of having come through your program. So the key to getting the grant funding is being clear about what the need is, your program designed to meet that need. Those are the activities. And at the end of those activities, you then are able to show, to justify, to explain, to reason with the funder that the result of what we do is worth the investment, which is the grant, into our program. All right. So being able to be intentional about, what are your goals? What are the goals of your program? You want to be able to serve young people. Then what is the goal? How many young people do we serve? I can tell you that a common mistake that I find is that people, they know what they want to do, and then but they don't know how to get the people. Like, how where are the young people that would come? Because we've got a program, we've got it, we know that there's a need, we know that our program is meeting filling a gap. Then you've also got to know, where are the people that are going to come into the program? Okay, because those are what your goals are set upon. That's what your budget is set upon. That's what the request is all about. That you know that there are people who would and could benefit and are available and ready to come through your program. You know where they are, you know how to find them, you know how to invite and engage them to be a part of the work that you're doing. Okay, so that's what the grant is. So the first thing is being very clear about the need, being very clear about your program. Again, what is a program? A program is that group of activities that are designed to produce and to prove solution to what you're doing. Okay. And the funder, now to get the funding, the funder is making the decision on, is this a program that is viable? Is this a program that is well thought out? Is this a program that is realistic and can accomplish what you're doing and what you say that you're going to do? Another common, concern that people have is, Jen, I'm a brand new organization. Can I get a grant as a brand new organization, right? We just got our 501(c)(3), or we're just getting started and we don't have yet any experience. And so, how do we now position what we're doing in front of the funder to let them know, or to assure them, or to give them the evidence that investing in our organization via the grant is a good choice? Okay. So, I want you guys to, not to be overcome with that burden. But what you're then saying is, we do know what the need is. We do know our community, and this is what we are proposing to do. And this is how we are going to measure our success. Now, the difference is going to be those organizations that have some experience, have been doing the work for a long time, and you may have been doing it without funding, right? You may have been doing it, paying for it out of your own pocket, and now you want to begin to pursue grants. Now you want to begin to open up your program to other sources of funding. All right, that's great. You may be on the other side of that where you're saying, Jen, we're just getting started. We have not, we're just organizing as a nonprofit and we don't yet have any experience. How then can we approach that funder and ask for funding? Both scenarios, right? You have a need, you know what your plan is, and your proposal is going to say. That's what the proposal is. The proposal says, this is our plan. Our plan is, this is the need, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, this is how much it costs, and this is what's going to be the result. All right. Those of you who are just starting, you're saying, as a new organization, we've done our homework, we've studied, and this is what we believe, knowing the problem and knowing what is required for the solution. Your organization is solving a problem, your program is solving a problem. Based upon that, you're able to say, this is how we're going to measure our success. Both scenarios have got to measure success, right? You've got to do your evaluation. You've got to prove that you know. That's important. You want to know that what you're doing is working. How do you know what you're doing is working? You're able to say 100% of the people came into our program, they didn't have jobs, or they were misbehaving, or they didn't have the skills to get a job, right? How do we know that it's working? We're able to say that 80% or 85% of them now have the skill sets, now are getting interviews, now are able to secure the job, right? So you have proof, and you should be measuring for that proof. That is what gives the funder the clarity, the assurance that they're investing in your program, in your organization, is a good investment. Okay, is a good investment. So the key is, first, your plan, knowing who it is that you want to serve, knowing what they need in order to get out of the position that they're in, right? If they're homeless, if they're need mentoring, if they need life skills, if they need job creation or job help, then you know what it is that got them there, and your program is the solution to move them from where they are. All right. I can tell you that there are so many organizations that are run by leaders who are frustrated, afraid, fearful that there's not enough money, that they're not going to be able to do this, or that it's hard. It's not hard if you are clear about what it is you're doing and why your organization is the solution. That's what you're basically saying in the proposal. You're saying, we know what the problem is. This is where the gap of services are in our community. This is what's not in place, or um, this what's meeting from what's in place. And our organization is filling that void, meeting that need in a unique way. And we are confident that, based upon our experience, based upon what we know about the audience that we serve, then we know that our program is going to work and is worth the investment. I want you guys to know that your confidence in your plan, your confidence in your solution, your confidence in your ability to um, to impact and to transform and to change a person's situation, while it is a huge responsibility, it's also an amazing opportunity. There's no shortage of funding. There's no shortage of funding. All right. Money is not your problem. I'm always saying this. Money is not what's missing. What's missing is understanding of what it is that you're doing and what is the result of what you're doing. The grant is given to those individuals who can explain the result. All right. The whole plan, not the idea. An idea is not a plan. An idea is not a plan. All right. An idea of, I want to help young people, or I want to help young people. And you say, okay, well, who are the young people? Every young person. Conceivably, you cannot help every young person. And every young person is not where the greatest need is, right? So, based upon where there is the greatest need, what age range, what group, what area within the community, right? You're not expected to meet every need. That's not your job. That's not your responsibility. But what is your opportunity is to have um, access to those communities where you can have the greatest impact, where your program can touch as many lives, influence as many lives, change and transform them in a positive way. That's how you show and share the value to the funder, to the donor, to the partner, to the supporters. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, realizing that those investors, be either the grant funders, be either your donors, they are looking to support organizations that have a clear plan and path to impact. All right. So taking your idea and really being able to assess, where can we have the greatest value? What group, or what area, or um, what is the demographic that would the most, that would benefit the greatest from our program. That's where the investment goes, right? You don't want to spend time and resources in an area where you can't show the greatest impact, right? Because that's why you exist. You exist to show and to serve with the greatest impact. So, serving other communities or all communities just because you think that you're doing more, in fact, doing more activities, doing more things does not necessarily mean that you are doing more impact or that you're having more impact. Okay. You're able to measure, you're able to show, you're able to share exactly, these are our goals. This is what's going to be accomplished and by when. Now, for those of you who are saying, Jen, I'm just starting and we haven't figured that out yet. Listen, it's a timeline, okay? It's a timeline. And you know, or you should know who your audience is. You should begin to assess and evaluate. You should begin to be free. I want you guys to hear me. I want you all to take your vision and I want you to have the courage to do it. There's no shortage of money. All right. There are businesses, there are individuals, there are opportunities for you to partner and to collaborate. There's no shortage of opportunity to move your vision forward. But you've got to do it clearly. You've got to do it strategically. And we can have a whole conversation around who should help you. That's a whole different conversation that I'm happy to have with you. But today we're talking about getting the grant funding. The funder, the funder is saying, we have the funds and we're looking to support and to give to those organizations that have the plan, that have the process in place, the leadership, and can measure the outcome. All right. This is not hard. This is not impossible. All right. And many times it's just the fact that we don't know what we don't know, right? I don't know where to start, Jen. I don't know what to do first, Jen. I don't know where to begin in this process. You begin by identifying what's the greatest need. You don't begin by, this is what I want to do. That's not where you begin. You begin by seeing, where is there the greatest need? And based upon that need, who else is touching or serving in that area, and who else is funding that area? Where's the money coming from? Who is supporting this type of program? Okay. Once you know what you want to do, then you can begin to look for those funds that are available to support what you do, right? And that's with any business. All right. And when we're talking about business, this is your business. Your business is your program. Your business, your product is your program. Okay. And you are inviting investors, your donors, your funders, your grant funders to be investors of your product. All right. So you want to know who it is that you're serving and why do they need your support. Once you're able to answer those questions, who is it that you're serving and why do they need your support? And the why they need your support is not what you're going to do. They need our support. We're going to give them coats. They need our support. We're going to give them shoes. No, that's what you're going to do. But why are they there? Why do they not have coats? Why do they not have shoes? Why do they need this service? Is it because they don't have a job? Then that's what you're solving. Is it because they don't have the skills? That's what you're solving. Is it because they don't have the mentorship? That's what you're solving. Okay. You know what the problem is, and your organization is the solution. And you work through your program, which is the list of activities that are designed to meet that need. All right. So, getting the funding is getting the clear explanation, the rationale of who you're serving, how you're going to serve them, and how much that's going to cost in front of the funder. You've got to have a budget, right? I know that I work with a lot of organizations who have no idea how much it costs to run their organization. They have no clue. They don't know what anything costs. They've been paying for everything out of their pocket. They've been using all of their own resources, and they just don't know where to put those dollar amounts in place. If we don't know how much it costs, then how do we know how much to ask for, right? So we've got to have a budget. I want you all not to be afraid of the budget. Don't be afraid of the budget. Do not be afraid of the budget. It's only money. Okay, it's only money, and there's plenty of money and resources that are out there to help you do what you do. And it doesn't all come from one place. That's the good side of this whole thing, is that you've got multiple ways of getting the money. Today we're talking about grants, okay? But there are multiple ways of getting the resources, building the relationships with the people that believe in and support what you do. That's how you approach a foundation. They already believe in and would support the work or the type of work that you do. The same thing would happen with individuals as well. All right. So the tip and the key is knowing your audience, knowing what it is that you will do, can do within whatever time period, and then associating that with how much does that cost. That goes into how much money you're asking, right? If our program is, going to cost, let's say, $50,000 a year, then you're going to the foundation or the agency or whoever it is that you're approaching for the grant funds, and you're asking them for whatever their amount is. They may say we're giving 5,000, we're giving 10,000, we're giving 20,000, whatever that amount that they're willing to give. You're then showing them, justifying for them how their funds is going to help you fulfill, complete, expand what it is that you're doing now. All right. I want you all to hear me. There is no expectation, it is not realistic that one foundation, one grant will fund your entire program. It's not realistic. Okay. Why? Because the funder is assuming, as they should, that your organization is receiving funds from other places. You've got donors, you've got businesses, you've got in kind, you've got events and other programs. So you've got multiple streams of income. That's how your organization is set up, multiple streams of income. So the foundation is saying, we don't want you to put all of your eggs in one basket, nor are we in a position to fund your organization year after year after year after year after year. Why? Because there are so many other organizations that we also want to be able to support and help as well, but you've got other ways of raising money. So justifying how you're going to use their funds, explaining to them the benefit of the use of their funds, and how you're going to be able to sustain your program is a great way for you um, to show the funder that you are a good investment, right? That you've got support from other places. Now, if you say to me, Jen, I don't have support from other places, I don't have um, I don't have donors, or I don't have relationships, or we're paying for everything out of our pocket. We don't have a way of generating revenue on a regular basis. then my response to that would be, now is the time to start putting those relationships in place. All right, you want to build a relationship with your foundation based upon the strength of your program. How about you can still build relationships with individuals, with businesses, with corporations, with agencies, with others, with the same explanation. All right, your program is viable, your program is valuable, and this is the need that you are addressing. The same way that we would go and research a grant funder who is interested in this area of service, right? Whatever that your area of service is, the same work, the same opportunity is also afforded through the other ways and mechanisms of funding your program as well. Okay. So getting the grant fund, getting the funder, the foundation to say yes to your proposal is based upon you explaining and expressing why your program is necessary now and what is the result, what is the outcome of what your program will do today and do in the future, right? What you have done and what you plan to do. Again, if you're saying, Jen, I'm just getting started, I haven't done anything yet, then you talk about what you plan to do. You talk about forward thinking, forward, your strategy. That's okay. I want you guys to be confident that there is enough need in your community for you to solve. I want you to hear me. There is enough, there is enough of a need in your community for you to solve, okay? For you to solve it. There is no shortage of resources if there is no shortage of the need. Our organizations are in place to solve problems. We are a value and an asset to the communities. We show up, we establish ourselves to meet a need. Okay. So if you see a need and your organization is the solution, then there is no shortage of opportunities for you to do that work. The key is, the strategy is, you know what the need is, and you create the program solution, and then you're able to measure that. Okay. You're able to measure that. All right. So I see that there's a couple of questions. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Miss Kimberly, did I do that right? For those of you guys, okay. Hello, ma'am. You have a question?
Hello, Jennifer. Thank you so much for the awesome tips that you've been providing. This is really great and truly appreciate it. I did have a quick question. As far as providing a program breakdown, do you recommend a certain amount of parts? So, for example, for the upcoming year, I have a program for our clients, and I know that it will teach them how to learn how to interview in jobs and to apply for jobs and how to, just the steps to get a job. Do you recommend a certain amount of portions to the program that will give a better understanding to the funders? Or do you just say, hey, whatever is best for your program?
Okay, that's a great question. So let's talk about then what the funder may require in the proposal. Okay, so there are some proposals that are done online, and then you've got a word restriction, right? Some proposals, well, they'll say you've only got 500 words to describe what it is that you're doing. In that case, you're going to give them the overview. Okay, but for those other proposals that allow you to lay out step by step, you could say we're going to do interview skills, we're going to do dress for success, we're going to do phone etiquette, we're going to do workplace communications, right? You could list and bullet what it is that you're going to do, and talk about how all of these things combined is going to position them for success in looking for a job, acquiring the job, and maintaining the job. And then you'll be able to evaluate that they're able to hold and maintain that job for up to 6 months or so, something like that. So it just really depends on the proposal. The funder will tell you in the proposal how much information they want. You want to have it all anyway. You want to have all of it in detail. But based upon the proposal, some may say you've got 100 words, some may say you've got 500 words, and some will say we want to know exactly what you're going to do. So you want to be prepared to respond in any way that the proposal is requiring that information. Am I being clear?
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. That
You
helps a lot.
you're welcome. You're welcome. That's a great question. That's a great question. Anyone else have a question? Let me see. Yes, ma'am. Miss Real Chicks.
I
Hi.
didn't have a question. I didn't have a question. My name is Michelle, by the way. I
Hi.
just wanted to thank Monica for pinging me to come into this room. I just wanted to say this was awesome. Um, Being a nonprofit for all these years, I think this was the kind of information and confidence that I needed to hear so that I could really formulate my proposal and get at these grants. So thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you for sharing this information the way that you did. It was very edible and understandable, and it just all makes sense. So thank you.
I want to also encourage everyone who is listening that your funders are already committed, okay? They're already committed to helping you as an organization have great impact. And I know that we can be afraid of the unknown, right? We can say, I've never done this before. And we can, in our mind, envision and imagine everything negative. Do you understand what I'm saying? But let me say this, our organizations are essential. We are essential. All right. We do the work that businesses cannot do, we do the work that government cannot do. And so when there is a breakdown of service or resource, who do they turn to? They turn to the nonprofit. We are set up by the government to provide a service that is going to help and benefit the community. And as leaders, we've got to have the mindset. I wish I had a church, that we had a mindset that we have the tools, we have the access, we have the ability through our program to make a difference. And I can tell you that having done this work now for going on 40 years, there are more people that will say yes than will ever say no. Why do they say yes? Why do you get the grant? Because of impact. Because of impact, not the activity. So if you focus on what is the result, when they leave my program, this is what they're going to do. They're going to be able to get a job. They're going to be able to have the resources and necessary to do it, that you're not giving them a small piece of what they need, but you're giving them the essential pieces of what they need to be able um, to accomplish, to complete, to finish, to do what is going to take them out of where they are now, into the place where they need to be self sufficient. You are saving the state money. You are saving your community resources by doing the work that you do, right? So just being not just optimistic, but being realistic that the reality is your programs are meeting a need, and we just need to be able to articulate that and explain that in a logical way. That's it. That's it. Just explain it and be confident, right? Be confident that what you're doing is going to make a difference. For those of you who are saying, well, Jen, I'm just getting started, so I'm not confident, then be confident that you have the potential with the right resources and partnerships to make a difference, right? Every business that opens their doors on any block in any neighborhood is opening their doors because they believe that there are people who would participate and come and patronize their business. No one opens a business and thinks nobody's going to participate, nobody's going to come, nobody's going to want this, right? Otherwise, why would we open it? And if you're going to open it and you're the only one that's going to support it, then you didn't need a nonprofit for that. If you're going to volunteer and give it all away, you don't need to file paperwork for that, right? So you open it knowing that you have a mission that is going to and will transforms lives with the right plan, with the right strategy, with the right relationships. And you can't do it on your own. I can tell you that most programs fail, not because of money, but because of the mindset of the leader, because of they put themselves and their fears in place of the opportunities that are available. I think I just went off on a tangent. I'm sorry. I think I just went off on a tangent. Um, but yeah, that just be encouraged. That's all I want to say. Your mission matters. Your mission matters. And there are more people who are out there who are willing and would and could support your mission than you currently know right now. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. I wouldn't be doing this work for this long if it weren't true. Okay. I know it for a fact. For a fact. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Anyone else have any questions? Miss Kimberly, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I
How
hear
are
you. How
you?
are you? I'm good. My question is, how do you get the? You may have answered it, but I kind of probably missed it.
Okay.
How do you get the like the corporations and the donors involved? I know, like, I'm a new nonprofit, as like it's 1 year old, but I know for sure what I have is like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I took it to a bus, turned it into a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I don't know how to charge. So I don't know how to charge as far as for the students. Like, I don't know what's reasonable to charge. Like, as far as tutoring and things to that nature, and then offering other vocational services, whether it is resume writing or any of that other stuff.
Okay. So you can go to any job site and you could put in how much does a tutor make, right? So you can get a range of what is the going rate for a tutor. If the going rate is $30 an hour, $40 an hour, or whatever, then you could ask for contributions and say, for let's say we're talking about individuals. Let's say we need one tutor that can work with 3 students, one tutor per 3 students. I'm just making this up, okay? So you got one tutor for 3 students, and on your bus, you might be able to get 12 students, okay? So then that means you need 4 tutors, okay? So 4 tutors at $30 an hour. How many hours are they going to be tutoring? Generally 1 hour, right? Every kid they've been in school, after school, they probably are going to need to be tutored an hour. So now you've got four, that's 120 per session. That's how much it costs. How many days are you going to be able to tutor that same group or a different group? So if you've got 4 tutors, 5 days a week, that's the cost of what it would cost for the tutoring. Am I making sense, Miss Kimberly? I want you to follow
Yes.
me. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Now, I think that one of my other questions is, it would be considered as an academic learning pod simply because the kids are not in school during the day, and a lot of the kids need that hands-on and that one-on-one, assistance with the teacher. So, it would be after the learning time that you allow the kids on the bus and all of that. So here in Cleveland, they have the kids online for a maximum of 3 hours during the day. But it's separated. So it might be 1 hour here, 1 hour there, and all the teachers are different.
Right. So again, it's based on the hour and it's based on the going rate for either the teacher or the tutor, whatever that going rate is. And let me say this, You all do not be afraid. Your donors do not expect you to operate for free. Nobody does that. Nobody, the Bible says you go to work, you get paid, right? So nobody is expecting you to operate for free. The thought of, I got to give it all away is not realistic because you cannot maintain or sustain that. But what you can do is find out what is the going rate in my area. Now, if you decide to charge under that rate. Let's say the going rate is $40 an hour and you decide to charge $30 an hour, right? Or if you do it on a sliding scale, even. Okay. I personally do not believe that giving your services away to individuals who don't have some type of investment is going to make it more successful. Because if they don't have an investment, they're then likely to say, well, I don't need to go, right? I don't really, I'm busy, I forgot or whatever. So if you, even if you did it on a sliding scale, put some skin in the game to ensure that they come and they show up. So you can find out what the going rate is in your area, and you can then, hire the teachers or the tutors, or if you're doing it yourself, that's your cost for doing that service, and that goes in your budget. Your budget says we need to hire teachers at 5 teachers at $25 an hour, and they're going to be teaching 20 hours a week. That's your
That makes
that's your budget.
that makes sense. Would it be the same for the internet services? Because the bus can provide up to 200 students internet at one time.
Yeah, so you then have the cost of that installation and the maintenance and the operations, the monthly of the internet, right? So that's a program expense for technology, and that's a real cost that you can then put in the budget. You're paying
Okay.
somebody, so that's the real cost that you can use.
Okay.
Does that make
Thank you
sense?
so much. It does a lot.
All righty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. Antoine, can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, my name is Antoine. I'm the founder of a sports youth organization called We Got Next.
Yes.
I wanted to ask a question based on I'm beginning to want to go down the route of a grant writer, and I'm seeing various pricing and things like that. What are some things I should be looking for when it comes to that to ensure I'm getting like the best for what I'm spending?
So you're looking to hire a grant writer? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to hire someone that I recommend that you hire someone that knows and how to build a program. Okay, you want to hire someone that is one going to answer questions and tell you things that you haven't even thought to answer. So a lot of people think if I hire a grant writer, does that assure me that I'm going to get the grant? No. Okay. But you want to be able to hire a grant writer that understands the program and understands the budget and understands outcome. Okay. Ask them those questions, that they understand the program design, that they understand outcomes, and they understand the budget, because those are the key components that need to be explained and expressed in the proposal. Now, many times we'll hire a grant writer and they'll say, well, tell me what it is that you want to do. And then if you haven't designed your program, and when I say if you haven't designed your program, that means I've got an idea, but I haven't really talked about what the need is. I don't know how to tie what the need is to what we're doing, to explain what we're doing and how what we're doing is meeting that need. That's what the grant writer should be able to do for you. If you have not done that, that grant writer should be able to put that in place. So you want to make sure that you're able to, that they understand program, that they understand outcomes, and that they understand the budget, and that they can speak to that, right? If you don't have anything written about your program at all and you're hiring them, then ask the question, um, based upon what our program area is, Can you help me understand what the outcome may be? They should be able to say yes to that. If they say no, then I wouldn't hire them.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Is that helpful? And I mean, ask them a whole bunch of questions. Don't ask them one or two. Wear them out. Now, I'm a grant writer, so let me tell you what I know. Ask a whole bunch of questions, okay? Because you want to be confident that whatever it is that they're building for you, while it may not be funded, and we're expecting always, we're writing it because we want it to be funded, but at least they're going to write something for you that you can use for another organization or another foundation, um, and not just at one time. So that's the investment. You're investing in someone who can do all of that, and that you could use the work that you're paying for, beyond that one grant proposal that they're submitting for you. Am I making sense? Am I making sense?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I often get the question of, Jen, can I write to more than one grant? Let me say this, that one proposal or one funder, again, is not going to fund your entire organization. Okay. So let's say your budget is $50,000 and you've got one proposal or one foundation that'll fund 5,000. You've got another foundation that'll fund 10,000. You've got another fund that'll fund 1,000. You want to be able to approach all of them, and not just them, but your other streams of income as well. Um, and a key component, as I just mentioned with Antoine, is your budget. They want to know not only how are you going to spend the money, but they also want to know where else are funds coming in from? Where else are you getting money from? Why do they want to know that? They want to make sure that you've got the relationships, you've got the viability, you've got the capacity for ongoing support. Okay. That's what makes your organization stand out and attractive, um, to them. I hope I'm clear. I hope that's clear. Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? All right, y'all. So listen, as we go into 2021, I want you all to hear me that the nonprofit realm gets close to $4 trillion, $4 trillion a year. Okay. The nonprofit is the third largest employer behind retail and technology, is the nonprofit. Why? Because again, we do the work that businesses cannot do, that government cannot do. And so the resources are there based upon the relationships. When you are submitting a proposal, you are asking the funder to come into relationship with your nonprofit. You want to make sure that that relationship is stewarded well and that you manage it well. How do you manage the grant well? You're clear about what your plan is. You're clear about how the budget is going to be spent. You're clear about the goals that you're going to meet. And I'm telling you that the same proposal that you would write to a foundation is the same language that you can build relationship with individuals and with corporations, right? That you can use those same that same explanation and rationale and show of evidence to get other streams of income as well. All right. Not only do I talk about this work, y'all, I've done the work. Okay. I've been the executive director, I've led nonprofits myself. And so I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard or not what I've seen from afar. Running and leading and strategizing around organizations has been my entire career. And so now I serve in a place where I want to make sure that the organizations that, may not know what they don't know, or are not sure and where and how to get the answers to their questions, that you have a place where you can ask your questions. It doesn't matter what the question is. There's no stupid question, because if you don't know, then we don't want that to be a reason or an excuse for you not to go all out. 2021 is the year to go all out. Do you hear what I'm saying? All out. All out. There are no mistakes. There are no, there's nothing that you can't overcome. You've got a mission that solves problems. And there's at least 1,000 people right now who need your solution. So do not, do not, do not get in the way of that. All right? Don't get in the way of that. Miss Tamika, did I say your name correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
How are
Good
you?
afternoon. I'm well, and yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Excellent. I'm a recent founder, executive director of Thomas Gardens Incorporated. Our mission is basically to give young women aging out of foster care, as well as women returning from incarceration, a nurturing environment which provides resources and tools that they can go forth out into society and live successful lives. Now, with that being stated, I myself, my passion came from my own personal experience, from anywhere from in the system to not being in the system, just sold back and forth on the street, needing the system, yet hearing the hardships of the system, if you know what I mean, from on the streets. And even through livelihood, just falling through every loophole in every nonprofit I ever came across, from 6 to 36, even when I got out of incarceration. And my goal is to basically nurture these women and the women that didn't have a nurturing environment before them going out into what we call real life. But my question would be this. I have no income. I'm going to be completely transparent. What I'm working off right now is straight passion, banging on doors, staying in people's faces, and saying, look, something has to happen. What do I do? Where do I go? And I keep hearing organizational structure, budgeting, all the stuff that I know nothing about. So any tips that you can give me in order to get everything in order? Yes, I am 501c3. I do have my status. Yes, I'm fully operable as far as the state goes. I have my solicitation to the state of Florida. I have all of that in order. Where do I start first? Initially, I can tell you this. I branched out in the community on my own. And I know everyone is telling me the program that I started is a disconnect from my mission. I understand that. But what my goal was, it was a dry run. I wanted my face out in the community. So now when I come back there and say, okay, now that y'all see me giving out Pampers, now that y'all see me helping children in the community, now you see me starting these free classes, I want to tell you what I really want to do.
All right. So then let's look at who is seeing you. All right. Who is seeing you give out these things, right? Because I know that there's a thought of getting your name out there or your face out there, but it's the who needs to see your face and who then are the people that would support the work. Because many times we'll do things where the only people who are seeing us are the people that we're serving and not necessarily our potential donors or potential sponsors or some potential funders, right? So it's got to come then to who sees you. I then would start with the visibility piece. If what you're wanting is visibility, then taking those stories, taking those activities that you're doing and inviting your donors, inviting your partners, inviting potential funders to serve alongside you so that they can see the work that you're doing and why it's important, right? So I know that there's a thought of, let me go out there, let me give out this, let me give out that. But then who's seeing us do that? Nobody's seeing us do that. The people that we're giving it to are there, but the people that would support it, could support it, and those decision makers, they're not there, right? So in order for them to be, for you to be seen, you've got to make that activity visible. You've got to put that on social media. You've got to do press releases. All that's free, right? You've got to show and share your mission over and over and over again. Your donors and your funders, as we all are in front of a lot of noise, a lot of messages, a lot of impressions. So you got to make sure that yours is seen and visible and stands out. Okay. So you do that through your Facebook, through your social media, you do that through press releases, you do that through photos and telling the story and reaching the people who were not there when you were giving it out, who were not there when you were making a difference in those people's lives, right? You got to get that information in front of them. That's a free way of doing that. Then you've also got to identify who are the decision makers. Where are those businesses, those individuals, those corporations, those donors, those prospective donors? Where are they? And then what is it that they need to know before they make a decision on giving to our organization, right? Giving money is an emotional decision, it's not a logical decision. So we can't go and talk about what needs to happen, all right? Because it's an emotional decision. You're then able to say, will you join me in helping ensure that there is not another young person that comes out of the system lost, afraid, and in jeopardy of suicide, of homelessness, or whatever other emotional you can tie to that, right? And not based on your story, but based upon your your goal of ensuring no one else goes through that, right? So it's about them, not about you. Don't make it about you. Make it about the community. Make it about every young person that we help transition out of foster care system into sustainability. We are saving the state. We are saving the city. We are saving the citizens' money. Make it make sense, right? Um, Passion is one thing, but donors don't give because of passion. You want to make it make sense. You want to make it tell a story. You want to make it visible. All of that is free. All of that doesn't cost anything. Okay. So, where do you start? The visibility piece. When people see you, they then would want to know who you are. Once they know who you are, then they want to learn what you do. Once they learn what you do, then becomes the consideration of do they want to give to what you do, right? It's not hello, my name is, give me some money. They've got to know what we do. They've got to know why is what we do important to them. Visibility is going to help you with that. It's going to help answer questions. You can be visible with news articles. You could be visible with photos. You could be visible with pictures. You could be visible with testimonials, right? You could be visible with your own story. So there's lots of ways to get your message and your mission out there and use all of them. Not one, use all of them. Because again, impressions, you want it takes at least 17 donor touches before one person wakes up and says, oh wait, what is that? It's like driving down a highway and you pass the same billboard for the last 5 years. That billboard has been sitting right there, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, wow, has that billboard been there this whole time? That's how your donors are. They're busy, they're looking at other things. You want to be on that highway, visible, so that you can be seen. Once you're seen, then that's how the let me tell you what we do. And not only what we do, have you heard of us? And do you know why what we do is important? And then invite them to learn that way. Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am, you certainly are. I appreciate that. I can say this. I did have an opportunity before COVID and everything shut down. Because I am new to this county. I only been here for a year, so I don't know pretty much anyone because most of the time I've been here, I've been ill. Nevertheless, I did get an opportunity to go into one of their meetings one time, and I got an opportunity actually to walk in on a roundtable meeting. Mm-hmm. How rare is that? Mm-hmm. And I put this whole ideology right in front of them, laid it out on the table. And you'll be, you may not be surprised because you've probably been in the field a long time, how competitive and how thick the air became. It almost seemed like instantly I was in competition. I was in struggle just to even get a word in edgewise, by saying, well, this area is fulfilled, or that's already being done by such and such and such and such. And not even allowing me to say, well, I appreciate that you can feel that way. However, I went through that program that you're referring to, and I can tell you from experience X, Y, Z. But nevertheless, they already made me aware that this is the contract for this county. This is how it's being delegated, and pretty much next.
Okay, so this is how you go into meetings like that. You then are familiar with what is already being done, right? You've done your homework. You're familiar with what's already being done by your own personal experience or even by your research. But you're talking about what's not being done. You're not talking about in competing what's already being done. You're talking about how can we as an organization enhance the services that are being done, but these are where there are gaps in those services. And we're here to be an help and an assistance to those of you who are doing great work. This is not a competition. We're not competing. We're here to assist and to serve. So the conversation is not what they're doing. You're saying we're addressing what's not being done. These are the areas and the gaps in services. And this is backed up by data. These are the stats. So in essence of your work is meaningful, the contracts is valuable, but what we know according to the stats and the data, this is what's not being done, or what could, or where there's room for additional services. So you approach it from the place of the expert, and you approach it from the place of their business and yours as well. Am I being clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's how you kill that spirit. Okay.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Are there any other questions, y'all? I appreciate you all coming in. I appreciate that. If you all would like for me to talk more. Oh wait, there's another question here. Hello, Miss Cassie. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you guys doing? I just am really excited about this app. I just started today, and you're actually